Joining me now to talk more about her plan to improve math and science education is Senator Gillibrand. Senator, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Liz.
So you are proposing a tax credits and also a grant program to try and get more kids involved in science education and more teachers who are certified to teach science and also math. But this is, of course, coming at a time when you're about to start another major budget battle with the Republicans, and they are interested in cutting more spending. So how are you going to negotiate that?
Well, this is about jobs. This is about creating a growing economy. 8 out of 9 of the fastest growing industries in the United States require proficiency in math and science. But only a third of our high school students are graduating with that proficiency. So we have to do better. And the way to do better is to inspire our kids at a younger age. We want to make sure that engineering is part of the curriculum right at K through 8th grade so that they can begin to see what engineering, math, and science is all about. We want hands-on curriculum like how to build a rocket, how to build a robot. We also want teachers with greater proficiency and expertise in math and science. We're going to have a 280,000 shortfall next year, so we need to make sure we have a tax credit to inspire teachers to go into math and science. But your question goes to the budget, and the reality is we've had to close a $10 billion budget gap here in New York. We have made significant cuts to spending on the federal level. We cut $87 billion out of the budget just through September. But the quickest way to reduce the debt and the deficit is creating a growing economy. And the way to do that is to make sure our kids can compete. Asia is graduating 20% engineers, Europe 12% engineers, U.S. 5%. We need our young people to be the entrepreneurs and innovators of the future, the ones who invent new products, the ones who solve the energy crisis and know how to create renewable energies that are cost efficient. Our kids are the ones who are going to solve these problems, and that's how you're going to create a growing economy, not just for the short term, but for the long term. And that's really how you're going to reduce the debt and the deficit fundamentally.
You know, Senator, I also saw today that you and your colleagues and your Democratic colleagues are reintroducing the DREAM Act. This is coming, of course, on the heels of the President's speech about immigration reform, but the last time around the DREAM Act didn't go so well. I mean, nothing has changed as far as I can tell in terms of the Republicans' opposition. So why are you hopeful that this is going to work the second time around?
Well, I am committed to being a very strong advocate for this issue. I think there are votes that we did not get last time that we should have and that I think we can get. So I'm going to be working on a bipartisan basis over the next several months to build the support that we need to at least pass that bill in the Senate. I was very, very distressed that we failed to pass the DREAM Act in the Senate last Congress. And I think we can be more persuasive than we were previously, and I'm going to work very hard to achieve that vote.
You know, speaking of bipartisan, here in New York, I understand that you have been making some calls to Republican senators on gay marriage, trying to get them to move from the no or even maybe the I don't know column into the yes column. What has the response been? First of all, who have you called, and what has the response been? Because we are not hearing a whole heck of a lot from senators in terms of how they'll be voting.
Well, my goal is to talk to all of them, all of the undecided state senators, anyone whose vote is in play. I hope to talk to each and every one of them over the next few days. What I'm hearing is that people do understand the issue. They are beginning to hear more from their constituencies, which is really significant. They're beginning to understand that marriage equality is about when two people want to make that commitment of love and dedication, and then it's also about their children. So much of the gay rights movement and the marriage equality movement is about families, because the reality is that a lot of gay couples are now adopting and having children, and we want to make sure that all the rights and benefits that accrue to families accrue to these families as well. On the federal level, most of our benefits are things like issues with regard to adoption, with regard to wills, with regard to Social Security benefits, with regard to visitation rights. We want to make sure that every American family is protected, and I think that narrative is a little different than it was previously, and I think people are beginning to hear from regular folks all across New York who say, listen, this is important to me. This is important to who we are as New Yorkers. We believe in equality, and we believe that every loving couple should have the opportunity to be married.
So you're calling both Republicans and Democrats then, not just Republicans?
Anyone who's undecided, I hope to call in the next few days.
You know, you're actually getting involved a lot at the state level in terms of politics. I mean, there's that, and then there's also, although it's a congressional race, it's all the way up in Western New York. I understand that you're going to be going to campaign.
Kathy Hochul's going to win. She's going to win. She's going to win. She's going to win.
Okay.
And I hope anybody who cares about politics goes up and campaigns for her.
Okay, but here's the problem. We haven't heard anything from Governor Andrew Cuomo. We haven't heard just now the DCCC, the Democratic political operation for the Congress, is just now getting involved with $250,000 worth of ads. I mean, where are your colleagues?
You know, advocacy starts from one person, and one person persuades another person, and then another person, and then another person. I think the Democrats will be in it to win it. I think we will all be supporting Kathy Hochul by Election Day, and this is what grassroots campaigns are made of. It starts with somebody who believes strongly that a person can make a difference. I think Kathy Hochul can make a difference. I think she's very well poised to win this seat. She cares about New Yorkers. She stands up for our seniors. She is not going to try to privatize Social Security. Her opponents, they want to privatize Social Security. They want to privatize Medicare. That is something that New Yorkers do not want, New Yorkers will not stand for, and that's why she's going to win, because she represents them first.
Okay, Senator, before we run out of time, very quickly, we are hearing now that some select members of Congress are going to be able to view the bin Laden photos, the photos of his body. You are on armed services. Will you be looking at those photos?
Well, I think it's appropriate that the photos are being made available to members of Congress for those who want to see them, to review them, to feel satisfied. I will not be going to see them. I feel very satisfied that Osama bin Laden is dead. I have every faith in our men and women in the armed services. I feel very confident about that mission, so I have no doubts there. And the death of Osama bin Laden does make a difference, because it cuts the head off of a branch of Al-Qaeda that has, you know, obviously launched the 9/11 attacks, but also has been very detrimental in our work that we're doing in Afghanistan and Pakistan. I think it is a great day for New Yorkers who suffered so much on 9/11. There's so many families, there's so many first responders. It was a measure of justice. It was a measure of closure, and I think that's why it was so important for us as New Yorkers.
Okay, thanks very much, Senator. I appreciate your time as always. Be well.
Thank you.